I've been instructing new welders this week. I am reminded of one of the coolest things about teaching new welders, and it is something that I remember from my instruction when I was the actual formal welding teacher, and that is that you can read a weld. Sometimes this can be annoying because most thoughtful, good welders know how to do it, and oftentimes when you look at somebody else's weld and there's a discontinuity, you tend to offer a little bit of advice, a little bit of how you could have done this better, a little bit of where'd you learn how to do that. But anyway, as a teacher, it's a lot of fun, and I want to point out on this weld that a new welder made today that you can see exactly what happened, because if your angle is off, if your speed is off, if your travel is off, if your arc length is off, you can see it recorded in the weld because each one kind of has its own specific discontinuity attached to it. So I slapped this T-joint together. The person was doing so good on her beads that I didn't have any coupons cut out, and this is as close as I got, but it worked. This is the first joint side that was done, and the first pass was not stuck to the center whatsoever. I tried to get as much of the slag out as I could so I could run one on this toe of the first weld, and then, she was to fill in the rest on this side. And it got a little bit better each time, but you should see like a perfectly filled in like right angle in there. And as you can see, it favors this side a little bit. We've got a lot of trapped slag in here, a lot of rollover. There's some, look at the toes digging in there. So far from ideal, not perfect, but if we're being honest, I've seen people getting paid for a job that was not as nice as this is. On the second side, you can see where the welder has improved. I mean, it still has some trapped slag and some rollover, but look here. I can see where she had it in the center and saw that she wasn't letting it fill in enough, and then she went a little fast, and then she stopped, finally slowed down. You see the toes wetting in here, and then she went a little too fast again, saw that she was doing it wrong, slowed down again. She's correcting. Here she's changing her speed, trying to get it right, gets it perfect, and then starts going to, actually I think her rod started burning away, and so she shoved the rod back in, and now she is wetting both sides into both faces of the steel. Not perfectly, but this is what we're looking for. And she was so concerned with watching her angle and watching the side-to-side motion that she wasn't feeding her rod in as it was burning away. And that's what caused this void in the trapped slag. I said something, she shoved it back in, sorry. And that's where she continued to make an ideal weld, but you're really focusing on kind of like that side to side. You can see it in the ripples motion, and then she wasn't paying attention to her burn off rate, and so she stuck it in again, but by that time I think there was a little slag trapped underneath there, and you're never gonna get it to weld over slag, so the arc danced across it and stuck to this side of the plate and that side of the plate, and then she broke off nicely. But all in all, I like this side much better than I like this side because I see improvement. I see the thinking process. I see someone who's starting to understand how to improve. I tell people, if you can do 1/4 inch of a good weld, you can do 5 inches of a good weld. Next time. Reading the weld, great for instructors, not so great for coworkers.